Today, we're bringing you a wickedly good recipe from the magical land of Oz, bow-shaped buns. We have two colors going into this, of course. We have green for Elphaba, the so-called Wicked Witch of the West, and pink for Glinda, the so-called Good Witch. They're going to be wickedly delicious. Let's get started!
Here is everything you'll need to make these buns. 4 cups or 600 grams of bread flour, 1 teaspoon or 5 grams of salt, 1/2 cup or 110 grams of sugar, 4 teaspoons or 14 grams of yeast, 1 1/2 cup or 342 grams of milk, 4 tablespoons or 60 grams of softened butter. Now for the fun part. Let's make the dough. Heat your milk to about 100 degrees Fahrenheit, just warm enough to activate the yeast. I like to do this by microwaving it for about 30 seconds. Once your milk is warmed, add in the yeast and the sugar. Stir it up and let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes until it's nice and bubbly. It should start to smell yeasty as well. While the yeast is proofing, combine your flour and salt together. Once your yeast is ready, add in the flour to the yeast mixture and add a few drops of food coloring, either green for Elphaba or pink for Glinda. Mix all the ingredients together until a rough dough forms. Then, add in your softened butter 1 tablespoon at a time and beat until it's smooth and incorporated. Once all the butter has been added, continue kneading the dough for about 15 to 20 minutes on medium speed with the stand mixer until it's soft and slightly elastic. If you're not using a stand mixer, double that time. Now that you have a nice, soft, and slightly elastic dough, cover the bowl with cling film and let the dough rise in a warm spot until doubled in size, about an hour to an hour and a half. Once your dough has risen, crunch it down and combine the colors together. Divide that combined dough into 5 to 10 portions, depending on how large you want your buns. Now, take each portion and roll it into a tight ball. Cover these and let them rest for about 15 minutes. Next, take 1 ball of rested dough and flatten it out into a disc about 4 inches or 10 centimeters wide. This is where the magic happens. Using a scraper, make 1 vertical slit on the bottom, 2 vertical slits on the top, and then 2 slanted slits on the left and right sides. Now, it's time to fold these into beautiful bows. Take the left middle section and layer it over the 2 sides. Then, do the same thing on the right side. Finally, take the vertical piece from the top and fold it over the middle to complete the bow shape. Place your completed bows on a lined baking tray, cover with cling film, and let them proof again for 40 to 45 minutes until super poofy. While they're proofing, preheat your oven to 430 degrees Fahrenheit or 220 degrees Celsius. Now it's time to bake. Bake your buns in your preheated oven for 15 to 20 minutes. Make sure you check on them after 10 minutes. If they're browning too quickly, go ahead and cover them up with a loose sheet of foil for the rest of the baking time. The buns will be fully cooked if they reach an internal temperature of 185 degrees Fahrenheit or 85 degrees Celsius. While we wait for our buns to finish baking, let's talk a little bit about Wicked and its 2 central characters. If you haven't seen Wicked yet, check it out, it's amazing. It's a musical based on the novel by Gregory Maguire, and it flips the script on the classic story of The Wizard of Oz. The show centers around the unlikely friendship between 2 very different witches, Elphaba, who would later become known as the Wicked Witch of the West, and Glinda, who would later become known as the Good Witch. In Wicked, we see the story from Elphaba's perspective, giving us a deeper understanding of her character. Originally played by Idina Menzel on Broadway, and Cynthia Erivo in the film adaptation, Elphaba starts as an outcast at Shiz University, where she meets Glinda, a popular and bubbly girl with a very different view. Despite their differences, They eventually form a close bond, and their friendship becomes central to the story. Glinda, originally played by Kristen Chenoweth on Broadway and Ariana Grande in the film adaptation, begins the story as Glinda, a self-absorbed and very popular girl. But over time, she matures, especially as she realizes her loyalty to Elphaba and their divergent paths. The story of Wicked is a beautiful exploration of friendship, power, and the ways that perception can change. Now, we will not be discussing spoilers, so go and watch that movie. In the meantime, let's head back to these gorgeous buns. To make the filling, whip together 150 grams of heavy whipping cream and 12 grams of confectioner's sugar. Mix this until you get stiff peaks. Then, carefully add in 10 crushed Oreos, or whatever sandwich cookie you prefer. Slice each bun in half and add a dollop of that delicious whipped cream in the middle. Top with the extra cookie pieces, or fruit if you'd like. Place the top half back on, and voila! You've got yourself a sweet and whimsical treat that's fit for any fan of Wicked.
Hello. All right, here's my buns. Okay. Side note, we discovered that my yeast is a little old. I gotta get some new yeast. So they're not as poofy as they should be, but they're still good. Also, this one broke. So we're gonna use our filling more as like a schmear, but I'm here for it because it's Oreos. But yeah, this is the final product. It's so cute. And it may not be as poofy as I want them to be, but they're still gonna be delicious. Are you ready for this? I have Oreo all over my fingers. The Oreo really sticks out and it really adds a bit of sweetness. These are really fun. You don't have to use the filling if you don't want to. They'd be really fun to make for a Friendsgiving or a forced family get together. I might make these for Easter. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be great. But they're really good. I'll definitely have to try them again after I get some more yeast. That's not old. My yeast still worked. It just, it's a little old. My little beasties are getting a little old, so gotta get some new stuff. If you're following me on Instagram, check me out. I will get some more yeast in a couple weeks, try them again, see how it turns out. Check me out on Instagram for all the other bakes I've done. Don't forget to do the YouTubey things. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think. Aren't they cute? What colors would you use? What shapes would you do? Do you have any other ideas for me to make? Shoot me a comment down below. Check out my other videos. Check out some shorts I did, and I'll see you next time.